Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Awthentik and the Beard, brought to you by All or Nothing Studios. I'm the Beard, that's Awthentik, and it's NFL playoff time.
Big
I hope
facts.
you guys are ready, because we are ready. I know I'm ready. As you guys can see, I usually don't rock Washington gear every episode. I usually just save it for Sunday. But, I've been kind of prepping myself a little bit, so I'm nice and geared up for the playoffs. But how you feeling, Awthentik?
I'm feeling all right, man. I'm probably not as hype as you are. I mean, my team, sitting at home from the couch watching this playoffs, man. We should have snuck our way in at 6-10, man. But let's talk about the elephant in the room real quick, man. Y'all know we in Washington, D.C., man. And last night, it definitely went down out here, man. My condolences and prayers out to the family of the young lady who lost her life. I heard 3 others lost their life out there, man. So if you are in the city, man, definitely stay safe out here. Stay in the crib, man. I've been seeing all kind of buses and all kind of new folks in town, man. It's been an interesting couple of days, to say the least, man. Sleeping yesterday was a bit wild, but what about you, the Beard?
I mean, I was tuned in. I was glued into it all day and all night. I definitely fell asleep to the congressional, the votes and everything that they were going through. So that was pretty wild. But I mean, it's insane. It's unfortunate that it happened. But hopefully, we're in the right path here to changing these crazy ways right now. And I know Twitter was lit yesterday.
Twitter was extremely lit yesterday. And before we move on from that, what I wanted to know was what happened to that. What was it like? Once the looting starts, the shooting starts? Didn't Trump say something like that?
Yeah, let me tell you, the best. So, I'm just now getting back into Twitter. I was off Twitter for years. So, I'm just now getting back into Twitter. But, I always wanted to use these sayings that people use on Twitter. Like, that didn't age well.
Yeah.
There were so many tweets of his. And then, people like Tommy Loren, who, they said all these things that basically referred to, the peaceful protests of Black Lives Matters. And then when it applied here in this situation, it's this basically they couldn't go back and erase their tweets, but they made sense into everything. So it was just a
little flip flop. There was I saw a couple Eric Flowers joints where they were like, "This is who was guarding the Capitol," and I saw another joint where they had a Best Buy worker, and this is kind of crazy, but they had a Best Buy worker, this girl at the door blocking somebody off, and she was literally using blocking technique. So I responded to it with this old video of my homie Dave Robb, who he's a music artist, a dude I do mixes for out here, one of my best homies too, man, real cool dude. And he had the exact same situation happen, somebody was this big dude was trying to steal a bunch of Apple products, and I posted it in response to that video that went viral and whatnot, man. My Twitter has been on fire today, bro.
It's
I'm
crazy.
telling you, every couple of seconds, it's 50 notifications. It's still on fire right now. I still got the tab open up there, and it's still popping up. I'm just this is wild.
It's at 30, what'd you say, 32,000 views of the clip now?
It was 32,000 views, yeah. And none of my tweets do that. But people were clowning, bro. People were clowning him. They were like, he can make the 53-man roster. Somebody was like,
you should have dropped an Awthentik in the Beard link in there.
I thought about that, but I didn't want to be super shameless. You know what I'm saying?
And meanwhile, I'm going to plug my football podcast.
I did make a relationship with one person on there, though, where I was like, "Oh, yeah, you from New York, man? Hey, check out the podcast one time, man." So,
man.
It wasn't quite a complete failure, but, man, my Twitter's still going berserk, man. I had to keep my eye on it all day just to see the people that was tweeting me about the show and stuff like that, man. But it's still going off. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow with 3,000 notifications, man. It was wild, bro. But my man Dave Robb took care of business, man. He straight body slams this guy. He's only 5'7". He body slammed this dude that was probably a good 5'11", 300. I'm gonna say he was 300 pounds, man.
X-Cal's pretty cut, man.
Yeah, that dude works out a lot, man.
Shout out X-Cal.
Yeah, facts, man. Let's get to this chat, though, man.
Yes, and thank you to everybody that is watching us on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and, of course, YouTube. Do not forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. It helps get this stream out to the YouTube universe. We definitely appreciate the love and the support. So, some shout-outs right quick. Shout-out to Lax044. What's up?
Hey, Lax in the building. That jersey on the way, bro.
My man, thank you for joining us as always. Sunday. Appreciate the love and support.
Sunday in the building.
always holding us down in the chat. That's
y'all
what's
so
up.
faithful, man. We got big love for y'all. Y'all so faithful to Awthentik and the Beard. Y'all know Scotty Booms ain't gonna be here today. I think we might get Scotty Booms back for the parlay on Sunday morning.
Saturday night, we will be broadcasting
that's right. I forgot
the
about
Washington football Tampa Bay game. We will be here on this channel doing our live play-by-play reaction watch party, so make sure you guys tune in for that.
You can understand why I forgot about that and you didn't, you know. I mean, my team's sitting at home, like I said. So, yeah, I forgot about that. We're definitely going to be doing the Saturday night game. And then Sunday morning, we're going to be doing the parlay. So we should have Scotty back for both of those.
Andrew, Dallas Cowboys fan in the building. What's going on, Andrew?
That's
Thank you for joining us.
That's Moxon right there. What's up, boy? How you living?
Nate Talks Giants. What's going on, Nate? Thank you for stopping by,
Yes,
as
sir.
always.
What up, Nate? What up? You about to get that work in that Madden real soon, Nate. Real soon. I'm about to pull up. Hopefully, AJ, give me that download. We're going to get that tonight popping probably. I need to get in some Xbox.
Joseph is in the building. What's going on, Joseph? How you doing, brother?
Bobby
Thank you
in
for
the building.
joining us.
What up, fam? What up?
Roman. What's cracking,
yes,
brother?
we're definitely safe, man. Appreciate you asking. And shout out to everybody in Giants Nation who reached out and just, checking on me, the Beard, and Scotty, making sure we good, man. Everything is fantastic, man. We got super security on these doors here, bars on the windows. We thugging out here on North Capitol. Y'all know we like 5 minutes from where all that stuff's going down, man.
Yeah.
You could pretty much ride a bike right down there. So that's what it is, man. But we definitely staying safe.
Joel, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Beard Gang in the building one time. My man, what's up, fam?
I know Joel was asking if we were going to be doing the game. So, yes, we will be doing the game.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it for sure. The man, Max Webster. What's going on, Max? How you doing,
Max
brother?
in the building, man. Not to be confused with Max Kellerman, who's definitely losing on that Tom Brady take. Tom Brady definitely not falling off no cliff. That man like
Bruh.
58.
I was looking at his stats today. I think he might have had it besides that one season, the one with Randy Moss. It's got to be up there in his top 3 statistical seasons of his career.
Yeah, he balling. I think it was 40 touchdowns.
Imagine if they would have had like a complete off season and all that. It probably would have been trouble for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's real. That's definitely real.
Big shout out to Waterfly, as always, holding us down in the chat,
big shout out
man.
to
We
Waterfly.
appreciate that, my man,
What's up,
as
fam?
always. And then I'm getting down. Scotty Booms. Waterfly said Scotty Booms tonight and Spiffy Booms on Saturdays.
Facts. We got to have him show up to one show with the suit and one show in his regular gear. That'd be what's up.
Jay
Spiffy
Gene.
Booms.
What's going on? Jay Gene in the building.
I heard Jay Gene talking about Haitians are always late. That's why we was 1 minute late today, man. That is facts, though. Yo, my cousin, this dude, he be like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yo, he's straight up on dope dealing time. That dude will show up like 45 minutes late. Be like, yo, what's going on, dog? I'm usually not like, I used to be like that when I was younger, but today, we kind of going over a couple extra things without Spiffy Booms in the building one time.
Marjorie holding it down. What's going on, Marjorie?
Hey, we missed you last show, Marjorie. Good to see you back in the building one time. The Stat Queen is here.
For sure. Always a pleasure. Johnny Kelly's in the building. What's going on, Johnny? How you doing?
What's up, Johnny? What's up, fam?
Thank you for stopping through. We always appreciate all the love in the chat from everybody here.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have to say that one.
I've been going with Suchith.
Yeah.
I think that seemed kind of right.
It works
Yo,
good.
What up? Even the last name, I'm kind of struggling with that. Rao? Maybe Rao?
Rao.
You have to let us know on that. We're going to need some enunciation in the chat.
J-Mo's in the building. What's going on, J-Mo?
2 shots. J-Mo in the building. What's up, fam?
Margie said the Giants cut Devontae Freeman today.
Ooh, that's an interesting one, but I kind of figured that was going to happen. Alfred Morris definitely was balling out. I don't know if Alfred Morris will be back next year, but it's a lot going on right now in the offseason for the Giants. We're going to see how this thing pans out, man. We need to make some money here and get rid of some of these players.
Fahad Naheem's in the building. What's going on, Fahad? I mean, that's a crazy blockbuster deal right there.
Yeah, that happened today, right?
Yeah, that's a big move for the Mets. Lindor is a great player, and Carrasco as well. So it was an interesting deal too. Whenever I get that ESPN notification sound like on my phone, I'm always like, ooh.
You do get that? Is it the da-na-na? Is it that joint?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I can't wait to see it. I'm just like,
you
man.
one of them dudes that really got notifications on every app on your phone. I'm like, yo. You got the cha-ching when the Cash App joint come through.
But that's when I'll tell you what was crazy today. So something must have happened with my Etsy shop. Must have gotten some sort of publicity or something, right?
Yeah.
Literally from like 7 o'clock this morning until up till now, I've been getting, so I get a notification every time somebody likes an item I have in my Etsy store. The same 7 items were getting liked back to back to back to back by 100 people today. It was insane.
Wow.
I don't know how or why, but
They got like a homepage or something like that. They might have tossed you on or
maybe,
something.
but it was blowing up too, and I was just like,
Facts.
So when one of y'all gonna pull the trigger and buy this? Everybody love window shopping on there, man. The sports influencer.
I see Shanti said you never watch Social Dilemma. That's true. They be following, boy. They be following. What's up, the sports influencer, man? How you living, fam? Hope everything's good.
Thank you for joining us. Hunter's in the building. What's going on, Hunter?
Hey,
How you
Hunter
doing,
in the
brother?
building. What's up, Hunter? What's up, fam?
Appreciate it. Who else we got up in here? Oh, we got to give some love to the young ones.
Oh man, Diggy in the building one time. Yo, so Diggy put out a video today. I can't remember what the video is, but make sure if y'all haven't subbed up to Diggy, if one of the mods could put his channel in the chat one time for us, man. Diggy got a fantastic channel, man. We was clowning in that Lord Brunson versus Fist Vegas joint the other day, dog. We was having a blast in there, man. We was roasting them Philadelphia Eagles fans, man. But that was fun, man. But definitely got to get Diggy on the show here soon, man. Once we get Spiffy Booms back in the building, we could bring Diggy on for sure.
For sure. There's a lot of people in the chat right now. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Poppin'.
I see
Cody
Mark
Collins
on here.
in the building.
What's going on? I saw Josie in there. Bluegrass Pickers here. What's going on, everybody? Got to give a big shout out to Max Webster, excuse me.
Appreciate that.
What's good, boys? Hope you're staying safe. Had to stop in. Appreciate that, Max, as always.
Yeah, we're definitely doing well, man. Appreciate you for asking, yo.
It is, we are here. Bark Nasty. Got to give some love to Bark Nasty. What's going on, Bark Nasty?
Big time. That's my guy right there, man. Me and him see eye to eye on a lot of takes, man. What up, Bark Nasty? How you living, fam?
Oh, man. It's playoff time. You guys ready for some playoff football? Because I think I'm ready. Are you ready, Awthentik, for some playoff football?
I'm definitely ready for some playoff football, man. This is an interesting Saturday games, man. We're going to break down just the first 3 games on this show today.
Just the first
Sunday
3
morning,
games.
We'll get the others.
So the first game, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the game that kicks off. Look, it's playoff football. No matter who your team is, everybody loves some playoff football. And the first game we're going to be talking about today is going to be the Indianapolis Colts, who are 11-5. They are heading to Buffalo, who is 13-3. Buffalo is a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under on this game is 51 points. This is the first game of the weekend, the first game of the playoffs. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I got Stephon Diggs, man. That's what I got, man. The number 1 wide receiver in the league right now, according to all the stats here. 127 catches. Me and the Beard talked about this off air right before we got on. 1,535 yards. Both of those are first place. 8 touchdowns. That's also first place. This dude is completely balling out. And I got to send a shout out to my homie Fist Vegas one more time, because 6 days before the Buffalo Bills made the trade, Fist Vegas said that the Giants should trade for Stephon Diggs, and 6 days later he was gone. I wish that could have happened. We could have had some weapons here for Daniel Jones. But I think Cole Beasley is going to be a problem in this game if he's healthy. He's had a fantastic year as well, too, man. I'm going to be busting down a lot of numbers today, man. I was definitely digging. What was that old show with, was it Michael Smith and Jamela Hill?
Jamel Hill. Numbers don't lie?
Numbers don't lie. Sometimes they do, but I'm going to be busting down a lot of numbers today. But Cole Beasley, man, 82 catches on the year, 967 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So they pretty much basically almost got 2 1,000-yard receivers over there. And you know what Josh Allen's doing. He's been a lot more accurate this year. I think Buffalo Bills are definitely the favorite in this game. We didn't talk about over-under, but do I see it? Is it at the bottom here?
The over-under is 51 points, I believe.
Okay, just so I know where I got to get if we going to get there or if we not going to get there. And the Bills, man, they're coming in hot, man. They put up 56 points last week, I want to say, right, against the Dolphins. That was kind of crazy. Is that what it was?
And they've won 6 straight.
6 straight wins,
Buffalo
man.
has
That's pretty crazy. And their formula kind of started on defense, if you ask me, man. They forced Tua to throw the ball 58 times, 3 interceptions. That's a recipe for disaster for any team. You know, that's just not going to work, man. And in that game, the Dolphins' leading rusher, I want to say it was the dude, what's his name?
Salvon Ahmed.
Salvon Ahmed.
Out of the University of Washington.
He was a leading rusher. He had 29 yards. That's not going to get it done. So when it comes to this game here, man, I think the Bills should feast on the middle of this Colts pass defense, man. Their pass defenses fell off. I know the Beard, you've been real big on that defense at the beginning of the year, but that pass defense definitely fell off, man. They're allowing 241 yards per game. That's 20th in the NFL. 6.9 yards per attempt. That's 19th in the NFL. So they're pretty much down there towards the end of the league as far as pass defense goes.
20th. Their overall pass defense is 20th in the league, which is crazy because their rush defense is second in the league. They have the second best rush defense in the National Football League.
Yeah, the rush defense is definitely a lot better. 2.5 sacks per game is pretty decent, though. That's 12th in the NFL. So they are managing to get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. And if they could get pressure on Josh Allen, I think that'll make things difficult for the Bills. The rush defense you talked about, it's a lot better than the pass defense is. 90.5 rushing yards per game. That's second to Tampa Bay. And they're only allowing 3.7 yards per carry. The last 3 games, they've only allowed 52.7 rushing yards per game. It's first by a mile. It's first by 26 yards in the last 3 games. On the road this year, they're only allowing 77 yards rushing. So Bills might as well just chalk up their rushing game. Don't even try to run the ball in this defense. I wouldn't even try to commit to the run unless you're going to be doing it from the quarterback position here. But for the Colts, man, I mean, I think the key to victory is going to be Jonathan Taylor, obviously. If they want to try to stay in this game, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. On the year, these numbers surprised me, too, because I know he was having a good year, but I thought that the yards would be a little bit less.
Cracked that 1,000.
1,169 yards on the year. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns. This kind of reminds me of what Antonio Gibson's season should have been like if he didn't get hurt there in the middle half of the second half of the season. But last week versus the Jaguars, they gave him the ball 30 times.
And I mean, Jacksonville's run defense is the worst in the league, but Jonathan Taylor has been doing this for a few weeks now. His last 6 games, he's rushed for 741 yards and 7 touchdowns in his last 6 games.
Yeah, the dude's definitely been balling. Now, being that he was a rookie, I feel like they kind of slow played him a little bit. It's like when you got pocket aces in a good game of poker, Texas Hold'em, and you trying to slow play. And I think they kind of slow played him a little bit too much. He could have had a lot more yards in this if they would have got him going. In his first 9 games, he had 1 game where he got over 20 carries. It was versus the Vikings. And the Vikings defense is awful. The Vikings should be in the playoffs, but that defense is just so bad. But he had 26 carries, 101 yards, and I think that was the game that really revealed, this dude can really, really ball out. He had 2 touchdowns in that game. And now, when you look at the back half of the season, in the last 6 games, like you talked about, he's got 3 games in the last 6 where he went over 20 carries. So we talked about the one versus the Jaguars. He got the 30 carries in that game. 253 yards. Those are high school numbers. That's Umar Ferguson. For those that don't know, Umar Ferguson, he was the Maryland State leading rusher from our high school, Albert Einstein in Kensington, Maryland. But that 30 for 253, 2 touchdowns is crazy. Against the Raiders, he had 20 for 150 and 2 touchdowns. And then against the Packers, he had 22. I kind of said that like you say Hackinson. I said the Packers. He had 22 carries for 90 yards. So, I mean, he is the Colts offense, I feel like. T.Y. Hilton has kind of took a step back. We talked about T.Y. Hilton on the last parlay, kind of, coming back into his number 1 wide receiver role. But the last 3 games, he's been kind of quiet here. I mean, 3 catches, 27 yards, 3 catches, 60 yards, 4 catches, 71 yards. That's not number 1 statistics. He only has 1 touchdown within the last 3 games. And his hot stretch, when you look at his hot stretch of the year,
it was 3 games.
It was 3 games, and I went and I dug through his game log. It was really from week 12 to week 14 where T.Y. Hilton, you saw him get back to his, his old school self. Week 12, he had 4 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Week 13, he played the Texans and he had 8 catches for 110.
2 of those games were against the Texans, right? 2 of his hot games in his streak.
I got Titans, Texans, Raiders.
Okay.
Texans might have been the game that was week 11, which was a decent game, but I figured I wasn't going to put that in his hot 3. It was the yardage wasn't as high as these. Week 14 against the Raiders, it was 5 catches for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. So T.Y. Hilton has kind of fell back. But I think it has a lot to do with the offense. They're giving the ball to Jonathan Taylor a lot. I always say that. Jonathan Taylor difficult. A lot. And that, in return, it makes Phillip Rivers a game manager. But Phillip Rivers right now with these numbers, they don't look like he should retire. They look like he should probably come back and play 4,000 yards. 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. If that's Daniel Jones right now, I'm going to be bragging on Twitter all week. You know what I'm saying? But we only got the 11 touchdowns with Daniel Jones. So for me, it's like this. All the numbers aside, I would say look for the Colts to rely on the run. I think it'll be a close game, right? But I think the Bills are just striding just a little too much. Definitely going to be high scoring. I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to give you the score right now. We got that super chat we'll get to. I'm going to give you the score right before that. I got the Bills in this one, 37-24. So before we get to the super chat, what was the over-under?
51.
So we're going to get there. We definitely going to get to 51. And I know the Bills are favored. The Bills are favored. How much they favored by?
The Bills are favored by 6.5 right now.
I'm winging it. I'm winging it, too.
These lines might change. They will change depending upon how drastic. We still don't know. But they'll change a little bit here and there between now and kickoff. But
Yeah.
Big shout out to Cody Collins for the $2 super chat. Says, feel like Nelson Aguilar a low-key signing for us.
Wow. I ain't heard nobody say that. And
He
when
had
he
a
says
bounce
us,
back
he
year.
talking about the Giants,
yeah,
right?
I'm assuming, yeah.
Facts, because Giants Nation is always
He had
in
a
the building.
big bounce back year.
He did, man. He was the number 1 wide receiver for the Raiders this year, and I thought that was super surprising. You got Henry Ruggs over there. What's the other kid? Renfro, Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, they got some other. They have Brian Edwards, who's another young wide receiver who caught a touchdown in Week 17. That was injured for a lot of the season as well.
And Darren Waller's probably taking away a ton of targets. I'd love to see how many targets he's got on the season.
But
I mean, that for me, that's the keys to victory. I mean, if the Colts can like really, really put the clamps on this Buffalo Bills offense, 24 points could win the game. But I just think that the with Stephon Diggs playing the way he's playing, I mean, they took him out in the first half last game, and they still got numbers. He wasn't their leading receiver, but they still got their numbers, man. And Josh Allen didn't have to throw the ball over like 26 times. That's exactly what you want. Shout out my man Glock in the building one time. You know what it is, bro. Good to see you in the chat, fam.
This is the thing is that, the Colts are going to have to – I think the Colts are going to have to force some turnovers.
Yeah.
And their turnover margin is really good. They finished second in the entire National Football League in turnover margin. They don't turn the ball over. That's the other thing, too. They have the third fewest giveaways in the NFL. Their defense, like I said, in the beginning of the year and throughout most of the year has been really good. DeForest Buckner has 9 sacks. Darius Leonard, who is a Pro Bowl beast linebacker, has 132 tackles. But the thing is that their pass defense, that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, like you mentioned, they're going to be looking to attack that secondary for the Colts. And we talked about Jonathan Taylor. The Colts are going to have to be able to run the ball. And even with the defense, if they do get to Josh Allen, that's where it's going to be hard. It's hard to sack Josh Allen, not just because of his mobility. He's very he knows how to move in a pocket, keep his eyes down the field. I don't know how many yards he averaged per game, but I'm pretty sure he probably averaged somewhere between. It probably went down as the season went along, but at one point I think he was averaging like 50 yards a game rushing.
Damn, that's solid.
But I think he's probably averaging probably around 30 yards rushing per game. But the Bills are 9th in sacks allowed. They've only given up 27 sacks all season, which is fantastic. And when we get to talk about Washington and the sack numbers allowed, you'll understand how good.
It feels like that number
sounds.
now is going up with these new style quarterbacks. A lot of these mobile, because mobile guys, they seem to get sacked a lot in the NFL, man. And you got guys in the 40s, 50s, 60s sometimes nowadays. It's interesting to see a quarterback that low in sacks, man. 27, you said that's great. That's not many a game.
Not
that's
at
exactly
all.
What you want.
Big shout out to Kalen Dragon 56 with the $1.99 super chat. Aguilar is Ingram as a wide receiver with the drops. No, thank you.
I mean, that was that one year with the Eagles. I remember the memes. They had the cinder blocks and the brick hands and stuff like that going around about Nelson Aguilar, and he definitely had drops. I remember they rescued a baby from a fire in Philadelphia, and the dude was like, yeah, the babies was falling out the sky, and Nelson Aguilar couldn't catch him. And that year, Nelson Aguilar was some trash. I will keep it 100.
He was.
But it's good to see him corrected. Like this year with the Raiders, you haven't seen him have that drop problem, which with Evan Ingram, he hasn't gone a year without the drop problems. He's had the drop problem since we got him, man. And I don't know, man. Like Evan Ingram, man, it's like you just waiting. You know how like you 4th of July, you got some fireworks and you light it and you like, oh, it's about to go. Yeah, everybody runs away. It don't go off. You got a dub, but now everybody kind of scared to go back to it. And I feel like that's the problem with Evan Ingram. It's like Giants fans have given up on him. We really don't want to give Evan Ingram another chance, man. But I don't know. Maybe Nelson Aguilar could be a good, sneaky, cheap pickup too. I don't know what the contract looks like over there with the Raiders either.
It's definitely possible. The other thing we got to think about too is the weather. It's going to be pretty cold up there.
Yeah, that's facts.
I don't know how, Jonathan Taylor, I know he played football in Wisconsin and how that area of the country is this time of year. So he'll be all right. Phillip Rivers, though, that'll be interesting to see how Phillip Rivers plays in the cold. It's probably been a while since he's played in the cold for sure.
Yeah, that's real. I saw a statistic about Phillip Rivers in comparison to Ben Roethlisberger, that he's got more Pro Bowls, and I wanted to say it was playoff wins. I might be wrong about the playoff wins, but it was Pro Bowls, and that one kind of surprised me.
I'm trying. I think the Colts are a good team, but I just don't think they have enough firepower to hang with the Bills. That's the biggest issue for me. I don't think that they have enough firepower. If they can control the ball, I'm sure that that'll help keeping Buffalo's offense off the field. But I just think there's too much firepower for Buffalo, and I'm gonna take Buffalo minus the 6.5. I'm definitely gonna take the over also.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go 31-24.
I went 37-24, so we're just looking at 6 more on mine. I like that. I definitely like that score. Now, before we get too deep into these games, out of the 3 Saturday games, I kind of know what you're going to pick now that I'm about to ask this too. Who do you think, has the best chance at an upset? And granted, Washington got the home game. Let's consider them, obviously they're going to be not favored in that game. So you got Colts, Bills, you didn't pick the Colts. And then you got Rams, Seahawks, and you got Washington and Tampa Bay. Of those 3 games, real quick, who you think got the best chance at getting an upset?
The Rams.
The Rams.
That defense. And we're going to talk about that next. But, yeah, what about you? What do you think?
I'm with you on the Rams. Like, that's going to be my pick in that game, 100. I'm let the cat out the bag.
It's weird because it doesn't really feel like an upset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks were playing so good at the beginning of the year. I think it was inevitable that play that Russell Wilson was having was going to come to an end. I mean, they were putting up 30 points in like every game. He was throwing for like 300 yards in every game. The touchdown to interception ratio before he had that little low streak where he threw 7 interceptions in like 3 or 4 games, he had like 1 interception to like 16, 17 touchdowns or something like that. And I just think, it was just a matter of time before he was going to fall off.
Man, I saw some people talking in the chat about Stephon Diggs might not play. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh man, that can't be true. Not in the playoff game.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all, really.
Hey, so Kevin, about the cut, man. So during the year, I rocked the hat pretty much all the way through because I'm very superstitious, right? Like I don't change up much when things was going right in the 4-game streak. When we got that 4-game streak, I was like, man, I'm just gonna rock the hats for the rest of the year, right? But if you go back to season 1, I barely wore the hat. But this the COVID haircut. You know what I'm saying? I've been cutting my own hair in the crib because I can't go see a barber, and I'm getting all right. I seen a couple compliments in the chat about the fade, man. I told you.
There was a lot of people. Everybody, everybody was showing you a little love in there for sure. But
that's what's up.
I wish I could. Can somebody tell me who is saying this stuff about the Stephon Diggs? Where you're getting this information from, and why that might be the case?
Yeah, Sabrina, this spot on right here. Giants eliminated. Giants had eliminated.
I saw that one.
That's real right there. That's definitely real. So you saw that in the chat, though, about Stephon Diggs maybe not
I saw
playing.
multiple people saying that Diggs might not play. I don't know why. I didn't see anything about him on the injury report unless he popped up on COVID report.
Suchin says, yeah, Beasley and Diggs. We'll see.
I don't see.
I mean, still pretty early in the week here. I mean, you got at least a couple days for people to get healthy.
So no, Stephon Diggs will play. That's just a typical injury designation, that they have to give. That's like just
that's like a Kawhi Leonard type joint. Like I ain't trying to practice this week, coach.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of rest. Get
knee rest,
right? Get myself right before we dive into these playoffs, man. You know what I mean?
Waterfly says, remember Scotty Booms? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
That's funny, yo. Oh, man.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we are going to jump back in to the second game. We will be back in a couple of minutes. Don't forget to drop your score predictions for the Colts and the Bills in the chat. Let us know who you think is going to win the game. We'll be back in a couple.
Expecting your lineup to be the only for it to turn into some. Well, we can help you rectify that situation. Come chop it up with your boys, Awthentik and the Beard. The best division in football. The best division in football. Streaming live every Tuesday, every Thursday at 7 p.m.
All right. It is time for playoff game number 2. It is going to be the Los Angeles Rams, who are 10-6, at their division rivals, Seattle Seahawks, who are 12-4. The Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 42.5. Awthentik, tell me what you got. But before you do, Max Webster for the $2 super chat. Will there be a playoff parlay? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we will be back. So this is the schedule for the rest of this week. Saturday night, we haven't finalized the time yet, but I'm assuming it'll probably be around 7:30-ish.
Yep.
For the Washington and Tampa Bay game, we'll be doing that live. And then Sunday, we'll be back at 11 o'clock a.m. for the parlay. And at that time, we're going to go over the remaining playoff games that will be taking place on Sunday. Hopefully, I will not be in a losing hangover from that one, and I'll be in a winning hangover on that Sunday morning. But we shall see.
I'm going to be rooting for y'all, man. I'm going to be rooting for y'all.
I'll adjust this question really fast. Andrew said he forgot to ask the beard what you think about Chase Young wanting Tom Brady. I think it's great. It's fabulous. It's amazing.
I didn't know he was into dudes, but, you know.
Well, you know, man.
I'm just playing. But, yeah. I like that. I like the confidence going in there. And you could tell he's excited to just be in the playoffs playing against the GOAT.
It wasn't in like a cocky, arrogant way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he was saying, because, you know, you get those a lot in sports where they're like, you know, like, bring it on. And
oh, yeah. Apollo Creed
it's
vibes.
A little bit more bulletin board material than this is. But it was funny because Bruce Arians threw a shot back at Chase Young in the press conference. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I love that. I think I talked about that on the last one, too. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, I love that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Bruce Arians is just too real. He's just too real, man. I like that. He's got a lot of pressure on him, man. I don't know. If you don't win your first playoff game here, that might be a little sketchy over there in Tampa Bay. It's been kind of up and down, but they got it together here towards the end of the season. I like the way that offense is striding going into the playoffs.
It's going to be interesting.
But so, this Rams joint, you know, I think the main thing here is Jared Goff going to play? You know, I saw that McVay said he isn't saying which quarterback's going to get the start. But Robert Woods said that Jared Goff looked, he looked pretty good. He was slinging the ball pretty well. So I'm going to address this pretty much as if Jared Goff is going to play. This Rams passing defense, man, this passing defense has been ridiculous. And I think that this Seahawks team is kind of similar to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals here. And, you know, one big wide receiver pretty much. And you got the small mobile quarterback. And the Rams took care of the Cardinals this year. They swept them, man. They beat them last week 18-7 in a very low-scoring ball game. And week 13, they beat them 38-28. So I just think that this Rams pass defense is going to be on fire. I mean, they're only allowing 190 passing yards per game, 18.5 points per game. That sounds like the Giants offense, you know, like when you are averaging under 20 as a defense, that's ridiculous. They're only allowing one passing touchdown per game. That's perfect. And teams are only converting on 35% of third downs against them, which, it's just ridiculous stats. I mean, I knew this defense was good, but when I went and looked in the numbers today, I was just like, wow. And their rush defense is solid, too. Rush defense only allowing 91 yards a game. That's third in the NFL. 3.8 yards per carry is third in the NFL. And they're allowing just under a touchdown a game. And that's sixth. And this is another thing I thought was interesting, too. In all the Rams wins this year, only two teams scored over 20 points on them in their wins. One of them was the Bucs, who y'all got to play, obviously, here coming up Saturday night. And the other one was in that Cardinals Week 13 win. The Cardinals put up 28. And they've held teams to 10 points or under in 4 of their 10 wins. I mean, like, when you got a defense like that, like the Giants defense for me was pretty good this year, you know, and I liked what I saw of that defense. But consistency, man, when you can really be this consistent, you know, even if your quarterback, guy like Jared Goff, who's not playing fantastic football, is not playing well, you can still find ways to win games. Hey, shout out my man Kid Blue in the building one time, Giants Nation in the building. And going up against this Seattle Seahawks offense. So I think everybody knows right now DK Metcalf, you know, he's kind of on at a low point coming into the playoffs here. He's got 1 touchdown in his last 6 games. That sounds crazy to me.
Crazy.
You know, since going off on them bum Eagles, you know, remember that game where Darius Slay was checking him the whole game? He had 10 catches, 177 yards. That was week 12, I want to say. So week 13, the Giants held him to 5 catches for 80 yards. Week 14, the Jets held him to 6 catches, 61 yards. That's the one game he had a touchdown in. Against Washington, they held him to 5 catches for 43 yards. The Rams held him to 6 catches for 59 yards. And the 49ers in Week 17 held him to just 3 catches for 21 yards. So teams, I don't know if teams are figuring it out or what. I know with the Giants, the formula was to get pressure on Russell Wilson. That second wave of the pass rush was definitely getting to Russell Wilson in that game. And when he would look down the field, to try to make those big plays, he wasn't getting them to DK Metcalf. And that's kind of how we shut them down. But I haven't really looked at the tape on a lot of these other teams that played against them, Rams, Jets, Washington, and the 49ers. But DK Metcalf, he does have 5 games over 100 yards this year against the Eagles. We talked about that one with the 177. He had Week 9 against the Bills, 7 catches for 108. And Week 8 against the Niners, 12 catches. 12 catches for 161 yards, which is just – this dude's a monster, man. He's Megatron Jr. for real. 2 touchdowns in that game. Week 4 against the Dolphins. And this was, the Beard was talking about this a little bit off air about how DK Metcalf, his catches, who was you was comparing him to Stephon Diggs, right?
Stephon Diggs has, I think, 1,500 receiving yards, and I think he did it on like 127 catches.
Yep.
And DK Metcalf has, cracked, I think he's at 1,300 yards, and he did it on 80-something receptions. So that's like, that yard per catch is pretty crazy. 83 receptions on the year for 1,303 yards.
Yeah, he's making big plays there. And kind of reminds me of the Justin Jefferson situation with the Minnesota Vikings. Like I know he was making big plays, right? And I don't want to get too off of DK, but just real quick on this. Like, Justin Jefferson was making big plays, but for him to break the yardage record of Randy Moss, to me, and I was younger, but like Randy Moss just seemed like he was getting a ton more big plays, kind of like a la DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? And early on in the years when you were getting those big games from DK Metcalf like that, where he was getting, against the Dolphins, 4 catches, 106 yards. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's 25 yards plus a catch. And then Week 3 against the Cowboys, it was 4 catches for 110 and a touchdown. So, I mean, he's having a fantastic year here. Literally his last 5 weeks, 6 weeks hasn't been that good. He's got 3 games over 90 yards, too, where he didn't eclipse 100 yards. 1 against the Falcons Week 1, 1 against the Patriots Week 2, and then Week 5 against the Vikings. I think they just got to get DK Metcalf back going. And the part that surprised me is when I looked at these numbers, the games where DK Metcalf is having a lull, Tyler Lockett is not balling out.
And you would think that would be the case where, one of them has like a crazy game and the other one doesn't necessarily have a crazy game because the defense is deciding to shut one of the two down.
That's what you would think.
That's what you would think. But I think a lot of it might have to do, too, with just the way the opponents that they're playing. What's crazy is that he didn't even get a combined 100 yards in the 2 matchups against the Rams this season. So
yeah,
that's like
who's checking them. The dog is out there.
Jalen Ramsey.
You already know.
So it's not going to get any easier in this first game of the playoffs. And if they win for the rest of the playoffs, shout out to Josie for the $4.99 super chat, who accidentally timed out ABCDEF while she was running on the treadmill. So that happens.
Hey, Josie, getting that workout in. I need to get like you, Josie. I need to get this workout popping, man. I've been in here being lazy. I'm in this chair now, like 8 hours a day, what it feels like. I definitely got to get back in that gym. And peace out to Waterfly, who I see is taking off, man. Appreciate you pulling up, bro.
All right, Waterfly, have a good one, brother. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and holding us down. So this is really going to be, in my opinion, I mean, I know we're going to get back to the score and the pick and everything, but in my opinion, I think that this game is going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. Yeah. And I think Vegas feels the same way based upon what the over-under is on this game now.
I like this. This reminds me of the first episode of the parlay where I just went in with I just went in blank. Like, what's the over-unders live on air? So what is the points? What's the spread on this one?
The spread is Seattle by 3.5. The over-under is 42.5 points.
42.5. Let me see.
I think it might not even get there.
That's crazy.
Even if Jared Goff plays, it still might not get there. So the other thing that's crazy too is Jared Goff didn't have the best year.
Yeah.
But it took Cam Akers, I think, was a huge part of how that offense started to do a little bit better because they really do rely on their running game a lot. And he was out for what felt like 6-7 weeks early in the season.
Yeah, started off shaky, too. I remember them first 2 games. He had a big fumble or something in one of those games.
Yeah, he had a good game, but he had a fumble or 2 in the first couple of weeks that kind of set him back also.
Yeah.
But, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp both almost got to 1,000 yards each.
Man, they're like quintessential wide receivers, man. Great weapons for a quarterback. I think maybe that's why Jared Goff looks, good when he does look good, is because the wide receiver core over there is good. And I like the running game over there. Oh, she got sports in the building one time. Giants Nation in the building. What's up, fam?
And I will tell you that Russell Wilson only has a losing record against one team in the entire NFL, and that team is the Los Angeles Rams.
Man, that's wild. This seemed like a trap game, don't it?
It does. It really does. And let me tell you, there's a few teams that, I really just can never really bet against. Like when Brady was with the Patriots, right? You never really, you know there's a chance they could lose, but you would never bet against them.
Right. You feel like that about the Seahawks a little bit.
The Seahawks the same way. Ever since Pete Carroll's been there, I don't think they've ever had a losing record. Since Russell Wilson has been their quarterback, they haven't had a losing record.
No, never. And I definitely agree with Mr. Mayor on this one, man. I can't tell who's going to win this game, but I got to make a pick.
Yeah, and so this season, in the 2 games Russell Wilson has played against the Rams have sacked him 11 times and 2 picks. So 2 interceptions and 11 sacks against Russell Wilson in 2 games this year. Russell Wilson's passer rating is 74.1.
That's a recipe for a W.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, though, is that it's almost like Seattle's team has flip-flopped from the beginning of the year. So remember in the beginning of the year, the passing offense was insane.
Yep.
And their defense was really bad.
Pass defense was awful.
And now, their passing offense has kind of died down a little bit, but their defense has gotten a little bit better. Obviously, you have to take into consideration the people that they have played over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, but they've had 37 sacks in their last 10 games, Seattle's defense. That's the most in the NFL during that stretch, which is huge.
That's tough. I wonder if the verdict is out kind of on the wide receiver core. I talked about Lockett struggling in games where DK Metcalf struggled, man, and he's got 9 games with 5 receptions or less. But he did show up in this last game against the Niners when they needed him. He did get that late touchdown. When I saw him on the sidelines, bro, he don't even look like a football player. The dude looks like he'd be working at a car dealership or something like that, parking the cars too. He's a small guy.
Doing valet?
Little valet vibes, yeah. And he looks a lot younger than he is. I mean, dude looks like he's 17 years old, but I think he's going to have to get it going if Seattle wants to have a chance in this game. It's funny. You said the over-under is 42?
Yeah, and don't forget, Seattle has held 5 of their last 6 opponents to under 20 points.
Ooh, that's keeping them in games. I thought they were going to lose that game against the Niners to end the season too, man.
They had a lot of sketchy games at the end of their. There's always 2 different types of teams that go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Your Bills, your Ravens, who have just on these crazy hot streaks, and then you have everybody else who's kind of just not necessarily backdooring their way into the playoffs, but not as consistently winning games over the end of the season, the stretch. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. And for the Rams, they have this was one of the things the stats that I saw today when I was, looking into the game that really kind of threw me off a little. Not necessarily threw me off, but it was interesting. I was intrigued by it. Was the fact that the Los Angeles Rams have ran the most play action plays in the entire NFL.
The Rams have.
Yep. So it's going to be pivotal for them to get that run game going. They're going to need Cam Akers to hit the ground running, because if your run game is not effective, the play action is you're wasting time on the drop pack at that point. And
Goff seems like he's good off the play action too.
Yeah, and Seattle is only they're the 5th best against the rush when it comes to yards.
Yeah, and that run defense has been pretty good all year long. They've been up there at the top of the league. We was talking about that a little bit. I like that run defense, and a couple acquisitions they made, I think upgraded them. I forget who it was they had an edge rush they picked up and a linebacker.
Oh, Carlos
they picked
Dunlap.
Up. Dunlap, yeah, that was one
Dunlap.
Yeah, that was one of the big pickups that really helped out that defense. And they started off hot. It was that pass defense that was struggling early on in the year, man.
But a good pass rush will help a bad pass defense.
We definitely know about that, man. The Giants definitely reap from that this year, man.
I think Washington has too.
Definitely. Because y'all secondary is not stout. But you're seeing guys make plays because they're not having to cover guys down the field for too long, you know? So, I mean, I think that is the key to a good secondary. A lot of people overlook that, and they think, oh, you just need, like, great cornerbacks, great people, playing safeties and strong safety and whatnot. But a lot of it got to do with up front, and a lot of it got to do with how your linebackers cover, too.
Yeah, and we know Seattle typically they have one of the best linebackers in the National Football League, and I think he doesn't get enough credit, and that's Bobby Wagner. I think Bobby Wagner is one of the best linebackers in the National Football League.
I see the chat giving Andrew some trouble there for putting the chat Cowboys Nation. They ain't like that one.
Yeah, there's a few
right
Cowboys fans that come in and out, but usually when they're not winning, we don't see them.
Yeah, Andrew, one of the first young bulls that's a Cowboys fan that we put him in another bad creation with my man AJ. I don't see AJ in the chat today, and my man Deke one time they be taking heads off on Twitter. Yo, don't play with AJ on Twitter. That boy, I don't know where he's from, but he seems like he'll come for your neck.
How long does he have to have that Washington football team player?
Until they're knocked out. Until they're knocked out. Yeah, so he's rooting for an L for y'all for sure, man.
I know it must be like somebody sees one of his tweets, right? That don't know who he is, but they might stumble across his tweet because of a hashtag Together Blue. And then they see the Washington football.
He started. He was tweeting me 4 or 5 tweets before he told me that it was him, and he made the name change. And he was like, "Oh, my bad. I forgot to tell you, man. I lost a bet, man. So my name is looking kind of crazy right now." I was like, "Who is this right here?" But just for him, I can't wait for Washington to get knocked out. But I'm gonna be rooting for y'all on Saturday night. I want to see y'all get that W. And don't forget, we're gonna be doing that play-by-play for that game. We're gonna try to kick off the stream probably around sometime between 7:30, 8 o'clock for those of y'all that tuned in a little bit later.
Yes, sir. So one name we didn't mention about, I want to ask you. Going against this crazy Rams defense, Chris Carson.
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle has historically been a run-first team.
True. And running backs always get hurt over there, man. I think it got something to do with Russell Wilson. I don't know what it is. They need Marshawn Lynch because you need a beast that's not going to get injured. And, Chris Carson's a solid back. Starting off the year, the games that they lost was the game that he got knocked out in against the Cardinals. And then that's when Russell Wilson kind of had that streak of them interceptions and all that, He came back, but I feel like he's not 100% healthy. That's the thing, man. It kind of reminds me of the situation y'all got right now with Antonio Gibson. It's like you're not seeing him at, full throttle, not 100%. I think they'll work him into the rotation for sure and try to get him his carries and try to start the game plan around him. But it just seems like they always improv and go to their pass game, middle and late in games, But I'm looking for this to be a middle range, kind of low scoring game.
It's not everybody enjoys a good old school football game, right? Let's be honest. We're kind of spoiled with these. I remember, what was it the Chiefs? It was the Chiefs and the Rams Monday night. What was it 57-51 or something like that?
Oh,
2 years ago?
Yeah. I remember that game.
So, that's the type of game that some people find exciting. And I think the reason why these sort of defensive battle, low-scoring games aren't as exciting anymore is because you can't hit like how you used to.
Yeah, that's facts. That people, when I was talking about the integrity of the game, about the Eagles tanking, which I think, that shows no integrity. It's a disgrace to football. A lot of people were talking about that. They were like, man, the integrity of the game been gone since they put all these rules where you can't hit the quarterbacks and you can't hit wide receivers, and there's, you got to keep your hits low and you can't hit the helmet and all that stuff. I mean, I kind of feel that, but in one sense, it's like, man, if these rules were just no holds bar, these players would be getting, the injuries would be even worse. I mean, somebody's tearing their ACL every week in the NFL now, and just so many injuries, people are banged up. I think that's what you got to credit the two-back running system to as well, is like, one's always going to get hurt.
It's a great point.
But shout out my man Nick DeWick one time.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? Nick? How you doing, brother? So my last question, for you regarding this game is, so you're in the belief you believe that Goff is going to start, right?
Yeah, I think Goff's going to start. I'm trusting Robert Woods' quote. He looked pretty good. He was slinging the ball pretty well. The one thing that sketches me out about his quote is he said pretty twice. And, if somebody be like, hey, man, that mixtape you dropped, man, it's pretty dope. I'm like, man, what you mean pretty dope, cuz? Like, You know, hey, that show you was at, it was pretty all right.
Yeah, that's just kind of like that's like throwing an LOL at the end of something when you're not really laughing, right?
Kind of like a little backhanded compliment. I'm not feeling that. So that saying pretty twice in 2 sentences, that's a little sketchy.
Because the Wolf of Wall Street wasn't that bad. He was kind of, a little mobile in that game last week.
Yeah, he looked all right. I like the arm strength too, man. He was making some throws outside the hashes. I thought he looked all right.
And there's no telling how good Goff, even if he does start, right? Like, I feel like there's not a lot, but there's a few games in this playoffs that's like, these quarterbacks might have a short leash here.
For him, I don't think so because, like, when he was first learning that McVay system, it took him a little while, right? And I just think he's got the smartest mind for that system right now.
I'm not going to argue with you with
granted,
that.
the backup quarterback might be able to come in and give you, a spark and whatnot, but I think Jared Goff has a grip on that system and that playbook. And even if he's not playing a good game, he probably gives you the best chance to win if you're the Rams. I mean, and they got the number 1 defense damn near every category. So, they're going to be relying on that defense to come out and ball. Only way they get into trouble is if they get down in this game. But the way Seattle has played the last couple weeks, when you allow teams like the 49ers to hang with you, the 49ers have been banged up this whole year, man. So many injuries. And when you can hang with a team like Seattle, I don't know if that says a lot about Seattle or if it says a lot about the 49ers. I'm not sure, I mean, Shanahan definitely is a guy who can run the rock with any running back in the game. But they struggled against the Niners, and it was another low-scoring game. This Rams defense is a lot better, and this secondary is a lot better. So I'm looking for Russell Wilson to have some troubles, man.
I'm struggling right now. I keep wanting to ask you questions so I can in my head
buy some time?
think about who I want to pick for this.
I'm giving you my score. So Seattle's favored by 3.5.
Seattle is
42.5.
Yeah, so
it's crazy, man. My score that I got here is 41. So we're not gonna get there as far as the over/under. And I'm going to take the Rams flat out, man. I got the Rams winning this one 24-17 in a kind of low-scoring game. Rams get a late touchdown there to just take the lead. Russell Wilson will probably get one more chance, but I think this defense will hold it down, and the Rams that'll be the first upset of the weekend.
This is tough, man. I started off this whole thing by saying, like, I don't want to bet against Seattle, right? But I said this multiple times during the course of this season that I thought the Rams were one of, if not the most balanced team in the NFC.
Don't forget all those early wins against the NFC East.
Very true, and that's what, like, I'm riding the line here, but
you got one more beat. It's 2 minutes 17 seconds. One more beat.
I don't need the whole beat. I ain't going to freestyle. I'm not going to drop no bars.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm going to go. Look. I really want to take Seattle. Okay. Yo. But I think I'm going to stick with the Rams. I think the defense is going to be the difference here.
This is surprising me.
I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams to win by a final score of 17-14.
We should have got some picks from Scotty.
Yeah, we should have.
So you said, what was it, 20?
17-14 Rams.
17-14 in the playoffs?
I told you. I said this was going to be a trenches game. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive battle, man. Like, that's what's going to happen. Los is in the building, man.
Hey, what up, Los, man?
It's been a minute. Los in a minute.
Ain't
What's
seen
going
Los since the
on,
watch
Los?
party, man, since he made the tagline Vanilla Vic. My man, how you living, bro? Good to see you in the building one time. Another Washington football team fan. I literally had to read your shirt as I said that so I wouldn't botch it and say the red.
Shout out to Awthentik and Gretz. They hooked Josie and I up with matching Washington football team shirts.
Oh yeah, scooped them joints up last minute. Them joints. I like the logo, bro. I'm cool with the logo. Like, it's just the name. The name is kind of funny, but I think when you look back, this will kind of be like you remember how they had the short season with the replacements and whatnot? Doug Williams got the Super Bowl. The OGs that were before us, they looked at that. They had that memory with them with the shortened season and the replacement players. I think memorabilia like that is going to make us remember these seasons right here. And y'all got a playoff bid in the first year with that name, so it's pretty decent, man. I can't be too mad.
Hey, it's not too bad. It's crazy because I got the old school R and the new school W.
It's kind of fly. I like it.
Roldy's in the building. What's up, Roldy?
And if you go Red Wolves, bro, you got the RW popping, yo. What's up, Roldy? How you living, man? You like that? You like that?
You know I've been a fan of Red Tails. But you just blew my mind a
You
little
like
bit.
that? You like that, right?
I'm not good. Like, yo.
You like that?
That would be sick.
You like that? Yeah. You like that? The Kirk Cousins vibes, man. Let's go to
Man,
RW.
I might have to run with that for a long time.
I'm going to text Scotty and try to get some pics from him before we get off. Let's see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Everybody in the chat, drop y'all picks right now for the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks game for us. I saw Nick the Wicks pick. That was a crazy score, Nick. Where are we going? We're going back up here. He got the Rams
What do you got?
41-28.
I mean, yo, it wouldn't surprise me because
It's
look,
definitely possible.
if that offense come out popping and Goff can throw the ball, that's about the most lopsided I could see that score get right there. Because, you know, Russell Wilson right now, he's not putting up a lot of points with that offense. DK Metcalf going to have to show up big time. To even get to 28, he's going to have to show up big time. I don't know, man. It's definitely going to be a tough one to judge here. I'm just going to go with the upset. I looked at all the games for Saturday and for Sunday, and I felt like this is the biggest game that had the most chance for an upset in it, you know?
For sure. I mean, a lot of that, too, because you have to think about like this. The two teams have played each other twice already this year. They're division rivals. You know, like, it's just the style of play, it just seems kind of crazy. But it could go either way. It really could. I mean, Andrew says 35-42, but I don't know for who.
35-42. Suchip said 35-28 Rams. Mini guy says 35-28 Seahawks. I don't see the Seahawks putting up 35. They'd have to be completely
That would be
clicking.
Crazy.
Hey, Roldy in the building one time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No beanie today, man. Sabrina said it best, man. Giants, you know, got kicked out the playoffs. The beanie gets kicked out, man. It's out of here, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's shout out Roldy with the $2 super chat.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate
Look at me,
you.
Haitian brother, Awthentik. No
Look
beanie.
at me. I like how you put the little.
Look, I remember. I know the key side suck by say.
Hey, my boule, we're going there, man. We're going there. Hey, but I heard a couple people in the chat talking about trivia, man. So, like, look, if y'all want trivia, y'all gotta. We'll take two. We'll take two today.
You want to do that? You want to do that right now before commercial
we'll do
break?
two trivia questions. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and y'all come up with two trivia questions in the chat. Don't make them too crazy, man. You know, give me an alley-oop one time.
Hold on. Y'all, I know.
I bodied the last one though.
I know that 90% of the chat here is here for Awthentik and not the beard. But give me a little something, you know what I'm saying, on these questions. I felt like y'all was giving a layup to Awthentik for sure, man.
Yeah, they were tough though. The Heisman player who wasn't a quarterback, the last Heisman player that wasn't a quarterback, that was a tough one.
It was.
Squeaky got that one out, man. That was kind of crazy, man. Hey, shout out my man Jerome Baker. I see him in the chat one time in the building.
Hey, yeah, you guys, man. Congratulations on making the jump to YouTube, Jerome.
To the tubes, man. Yeah, man. I'm trying to find his comment so I can highlight it. I know I saw it. Yeah, that joint gone. That joint was flying. That joint gone. But shout out my homie Jerome Baker, man. One of the dopest DJs, not only in the city, but just across the nation, man. This dude is fire all the way from Arizona, man. Make sure y'all check out their podcast, too. They just made the transition over to YouTube, and it's called What's a Podcast? If you, you know, it's a pretty generic term for YouTube. So when I first put What's a Podcast, I got all this stuff that was like, a podcast is, you know, people speaking over the air on microphones. I was like, you got to put Jerome Baker behind that thing.
Well, the way they spell it on their name.
They spell it straight up.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's What's a Podcast.
But listen, instead of putting the apostrophe after the T in the S, you have to put the apostrophe after the S, and then it's the letter A.
I don't know about that.
I know 100%. I subscribe to them from all of my YouTube accounts.
Hey, Jerome Baker, man, I can't make, that's the one thing about StreamYard I don't like. You can't make people mods right from StreamYard. That's kind of whack. But if one of the mods can find the channel, I know you can find it if you put What's a Podcast, Jerome Baker. Go ahead and put his channel in the chat because they do a lot of current event stuff in DC, and actually with what's going on right now, like with all this political stuff happening in the city, they're a great podcast to like keep in tune with what's going on, man. I forget what days they go live, but they just made the jump to YouTube. They're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff as far as DSPs go. So make sure y'all check them out. I'm gonna try to get the link if one of the mods can't get it, but I didn't know it was What's and then apostrophe after.
And then they connected the A to it, which actually, I mean, it's kind of difficult if you don't know, right? But once like people get hip to it.
Oh, we got the super chat in the building one time.
Yes, big shout outs for the super chat to Shane M. $3 super chat. I'm here for the beard.
Facts.
I love it. But yeah, it's kind of smart though in the same sense because of what it is and the title. It's going to be tough to come up, right? But it works because they do it that way. It's kind of like Awthentik. Like if you don't know how to spell Awthentik, it's a little weird.
People stay telling me that I can't find Awthentik in the beard, man. You got to spell it the way I spell it, man.
But then once you get hip to it, then it's like a big deal, and then everybody's searching Awthentik and Giants. Like if you search that on YouTube, the YouTube will break.
So is this it, Gretz? Is this their channel right here?
I got it right here too. Bung. We throwing it all over there
make
for
sure you put
Jerome.
the name. Make sure you put the name on there so people know the link they clicking is for his channel too. If you could do that.
Yeah, my bad.
Nah, y'all good. So yeah, trivia. If y'all want to do some trivia, man, I didn't see no questions. We might just skip trivia tonight, man. You know, we need Spiffy Booms one time for the trivia. He's the trivia god one time.
Yeah. Joseph said he's here for Awthentik, the beard, and Scotty.
My
appreciate
man.
that, Joseph.
Hey, we appreciate you, Joseph. One time. You know what it is. You know what it is, man. You know the vibes. So, man, let's take a quick break, man. We'll come back, get this third game out the way, man. Maybe we get y'all out of here a little early. We'll see what's good.
So we will be back after this commercial break, brought to you by All or Nothing Studios.
I like how you doing that. Them 70s vibes. Let's go, man.
Your wide receiver on IR? Aw, shucks. Your running back keep fumbling every week? Man, damn it all. Well, come chop it up with your boys. We are waiver wire tight. Awthentik and the Beard. Every Sunday morning, streaming live at 11 a.m.
And we're back.
Make sure y'all check us out, man. The Parlay Sunday. We're going to be breaking down the other 3 games for the Sunday night games. And also, don't forget to check us out Saturday night. We're going to be doing play-by-play for the Washington versus the Bucs game. That's going to be a home game for Washington, man. And that's the game we're going to be, breaking down on the next, couple games here. We're going to get into this Washington one. This is probably my favorite game to get into, man, because it's like the home team is the underdog. It's kind of strange.
Big shout out to Ash Money Records.
Oh, appreciate that, fam.
With the $1.99 super chat. Yo, what's good, y'all, my dudes?
Hey, shout out Ash Money, too. Check me out on Instagram, man. Just tapping in, making sure we was all right with all the fiasco and chaos going down here in our city in Washington, D.C., man. It's been wild. And I see a couple more. Let's get to those 2 before we get to this game. Whoa.
Okay. Big shout out to Roldy Lewis with a $5 super chat. Says, Action Brunson, I'm here for you too. F Awthentik, laugh out loud. His girl ain't even black, laugh out loud. You got that good loving one, that black Action Brunson.
That black Action Brunson. Hey.
All right. Big shout out
my man Roldy in the
Max
building one time.
Webster, $5 super chat. Here's a layup for the Beard. In retrospect of changing the name to Washington Football Team, what year did the Redskins begin to play as Washington Redskins? Bonus, what was the prior name?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you said it before.
Okay, so the prior name was the Boston Braves, and the year was 1932.
So 1932 is when Washington changed to the Redskins, you think?
From the Boston Braves to the Washington Redskins was 1932.
Are you 100% correct on that?
I am 100% correct on that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, cuz. I was, man. Jay Jean's got one more, too, right there.
All right, we'll do one more. We'll do this together then. Jay Jean, since 1970... how many times has the Cardinals made the playoffs as part of the NFC East?
You want to go same time, game time, no boards? Just say it.
Look, let's be honest. We could probably put the number up on one hand.
I'm thinking it's one hand, too.
Okay, so we'll just do it up on one hand, okay? Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
You looked at me. I saw you. He looked. He was like, let me see what he got. Let me see what he got.
It's not rock, paper, scissors.
I'm going 4. Beard's going 3. What we looking like, Jay Jean?
What's the answer, Jay Jean?
Joel says 3. Or Joel. I got to correct myself because every time I read his name, I say Joel, and I want to say it's Joel. We're gonna go with Joel. I think so. Oh, we got one more too. Oh, 1937. What did you say, Tim?
I said 1932.
Quit peeking, Jason Cardell says. Shout out to homie Jason Cardell, man. He's got an awesome Twitch channel, man. Check him out.
I forgot Jerome Baker is a Arizona Cardinals guy.
Oh, yeah. He said not enough. Somebody Googling, what's up? What's up? We Googling
the
or what?
answer is 4.
Let's go,
Come
man.
on.
Yo, let's go. So, and you got the 1932 wrong.
That was the bonus part, though, right?
I guess so, man. That's 2 weeks
I'm
in a
not
row.
going to lie. I looked at my shirt.
You did. Hey, you wild, bro. You wild for that one. I ain't even think to look at the shirt, yo. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm 100% positive. And no wonder you thought you was 100% positive. All right, let's get to this Washington game, man.
Oh, man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the slate is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 11-5. They are 8-point favorite at the Washington football team, who is 7-9. The over-under is 44.5. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Okay, so we talked about the Chase Young comments a little bit. We both expressed our opinions on that. I definitely like the move from Chase Young. That's a good move, but you don't want to mess around with the GOAT too much, man.
Poke the bear? Is that what it is? Poke the bear, poke the beast, poke the monster? What is it?
Yeah, something like that. But I think Tom Brady's playing fantastic football, and we talked about this when I saw Max Webster in the chat. Shout out to Max Webster, who's definitely doesn't got the same take as Max Kellerman that Tom Brady was going to fall off a cliff here. He's third in passing yards in the NFL right now, man. 4,633 yards. The man is tied for second in touchdowns with 40. I think that's tied with Patrick Mahomes. I think Aaron Rodgers is the leader on the season here with a little bit over 40. 12 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. He's only been sacked 21 times. That's 1.3 times a game. Now, that's the first thing I want to talk about because Chase Young and them boys, they talking all that talk. I don't know how many sacks y'all have on the season, but he's only getting sacked 1.3 times a game.
47 we have. 47 sacks on the season, which is 6 in the NFL.
So that's pretty good, man. Y'all going to have to definitely get major pressure on Tom Brady, man. And Ronald Jones getting back healthy, man. I think he could be a key play in this game, too.
That could be a big problem.
192 carries, which is not that high. League leader in the league is Derrick Henry with over 340. And he's got 978 yards, so he almost got to 1,000 yards.
He would have if he didn't get hurt and then have COVID for sure, 100%.
100% would have got there. He's averaging 5.1 yards per carry, which is amazing. Now, this the other thing I thought was really crazy about the Bucs offense. And this is minus Antonio Brown, who's been playing pretty hot coming into this game, too. He's got 2 touchdowns in his last 2 games. But Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, man, the catch percentage is just outrageous. Like, if we could get this with the Giants, man, I'll be a happy man. Mike Evans, 70 receptions on 109 targets. So, you're looking at just under 70% he's catching of his passes. He's got 1,006 yards, 14.4 yards per catch, 13 touchdowns, 62.9 yards per game. And this the other crazy part about it is Godwin has more yards per game, but he's only played in 12 games. Godwin has 70 yards per game. 12.9 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns, 65 catches on 84 targets. These dudes are just monsters. I mean, they're not dropping anything. And Chris Godwin has 840 yards on the season, which that's solid for him in 12 games. That's a great year for him, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have played, if he wouldn't have got hurt, he would have hit 1,000 yards too.
Yeah, and he's hitting free agency this year, right? Or after this season. I think he might be hitting free agency.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't
Giants was talking
about
about trying to scoop him up. I don't know if that would be maybe next year. I'm not too sure because Giants were talking about Michael Gallup too, who he's not going to be a free agent until after next season. But the Bucs also, man, on third down, they're 44% on third downs, which is fantastic. Buffalo leads the NFL right now with 49% on third down. You know how I'm a stickler about third down.
Yeah.
Defensively especially, but offensively I'm starting to lean more towards that. But 7 out of 7 teams that are in the playoffs right now are in the top 10 as far as converting on third downs. So
makes sense, right?
Makes big sense. Giants got to step it up. Y'all know that last game we was 0 for 7. I don't know how we got a victory, and we were 0 for 7 on third down.
That still blows my mind. That's wild.
It's mind-boggling, man. And I know you picked the Bucs to be your Super Bowl contender for the NFC. You had the Ravens in the AFC, and I'd say maybe around week 14 or week 13, I was saying that the Bucs were kind of going to be my dark horse pick for the Super Bowl. And if they get there, man, that'll be the first time that a team plays in their own stadium for the Super Bowl. And
I mean, it kind of like the stars all aligned for this.
I've seen this happen with somebody else though, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, there's been a few that were close for sure.
Yeah, man. And the one thing about Washington, I'm just wondering if the injuries are still lingering, can this offense come out, put up enough points to compete? Because I do think y'all defense is going to be in this game. I mean, y'all defense has been balling out. I'm worried about Antonio Gibson. I'm worried about Terry McLaurin. Antonio Gibson in the 2 games back. You got the last game of the year versus the Eagles, which I liked how Washington committed to the run, even though his yards per carry wasn't like OD high. 3.9 yards per carry is still solid. You can definitely get it done with that. My thing is if you could run it 3 times and get a first down, that's a good average to have. 19 rushes for 75 yards in that game against the Eagles. And the week before that, when he had just gotten back against the Panthers, 10 carries for 61 yards.
6.1 yards.
They should have just gave him the ball more in that game.
You already know how I feel about that.
And that was the game where the Giants really needed all the chips to fall our way. And man, thank God they did. Carolina took care of business in that game. 0 touchdowns since returning. That, to me, that's the biggest stat for Antonio Gibson. So in 2 games, no touchdowns. He had 11 touchdowns on the season. Everybody was like Rookie of the Year, possibly. He was one of the candidates early on in the season, balling out. Now, coming back off the injury, it seems like Ron Rivera's kind of trying to tiptoe him back into the lineup, coming off the turf toe injury. And same thing with Terry McLaurin, who's still getting the targets. He's still getting the catches, but the yards just ain't adding up for him.
Nope.
His 1 game back, 7 catches, 40 yards and a touchdown. I love that touchdown he got. I told y'all, man, that post corner is my favorite route, man. Terry McLaurin, besides that post corner, everything seemed to be pretty like intermediate. Everything was across the middle, and you weren't seeing those breakout plays where he would catch those slants, catch those little Z out routes, and maybe make some moves and get some yak. Hey, Sock Passe, mon cher, ma boule, ukone. Hastings in the building one time. Let's get it. And the other thing to worry about, I think, is Alex Smith, man. But I got an interesting stat that nobody talking about.
This is the one you were
This is the one I've been holding in my bag.
I gotta hear it. Drop it.
This one's been in my bag, okay? So, Dwayne Haskins is a starter, right? Didn't he get 6 games this year?
Ooh.
If I'm correct on my math here,
he got 4 in the beginning.
Dwayne Haskins was 1-5. If I'm correct here. Kyle Allen got the 3 games. He was he got the 4 games. Got hurt in the 4th game. He was 1-3. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Alex Smith has only lost 1 game as a starter.
5-1.
He's 5-1 right now.
Yeah.
That is a sneaky stat right there, because even in ugly games, he's coming out with the W because he's been game managing and doing his thing, trying not to turn over the ball. Now, the one loss that they just got was against the Carolina Panthers, who had lost 8 of 9 coming into that game. And he turned the ball over,
But the problem is that in years past, he's been known as somebody who doesn't necessarily turn the ball over.
Yeah.
But this year, he's definitely turned the ball over.
And you look at his stats, they're not impressive.
How many
he's got 8 interceptions on the year.
And 6 touchdowns?
Only 6 touchdowns. That's not that great. And 1,582 yards. In his last 5 games, he's got 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So, I mean, he's trying to game manage. He only has 200-plus yards in 1 game the whole year.
No.
I thought that's when I looked at the logs.
He has back-to-back 300-yard games this year.
Oh, he did. I must have missed those 2, because the 200, maybe I missed him looking at focused on 200.
Yeah, he had back-to-back 300
The one 200 was
yards.
against the Steelers, so he did have a 300-yard games. He had no touchdowns in those games. I do remember that now. And against the 49ers in Week 16, you saw a really ugly game, man. 42% completion percentage. He didn't play the whole game. 57 yards. 8 for 19, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I'm telling you, it's been a great story, a great run. I have nothing but admiration and respect for what Alex Smith has done. He is, in a weird way, the main reason why we got here outside of our defense, obviously. But I said it, and I'm sticking to it. Like, I just unfortunately don't think that his leg is built for the longevity of a football season. And I think he just hit the wall physically.
That durability.
And mentally, he wants to be able to do these things. And he knows what to do. In between the ears, he's good to go. But it's not the connection between what he wants to do and what he can do physically. It's just not.
That sounds a bit like Daniel Jones, too. It's like he feels the pressure, but then he just freezes up.
Yeah.
But he has been doing a better job protecting the ball. The thing with Alex Smith is there's a fear factor here. You know, it's like with that leg, if you step up in the pocket, you saw it happen to Joe Burrow. Routine play, try to step up in the pocket, somebody down there low by the legs, boom, knee out of here. And with a guy with a calf like that, man, you know, it's looking pretty much prosthetic. I think he's struggling whether to like step into the pocket and take the risk of messing up his leg or stepping outside of the pocket trying to roll out where he knows these defensive ends are going to contain him and he's not going to be able to make it out. The mobility is completely gone. And we're talking about a guy that, you know, they compare Daniel Jones to Alex Smith. And when you look at Daniel Jones play right now, mobility is one of his greatest assets. Alex Smith needs that mobility, and right now he doesn't have it. So, I mean, they haven't announced a starter. Earlier this week, they were talking about maybe trying to do a JV quarterback system and rotate him. That happened to me on JV, system. Bro. I broke my collarbone. They tried to bring me back in. I'm like, yo, this rotation is not cracking for me. I'm getting no rhythm. You know, so who would – I remember on Tuesday you said you wanted to see Taylor Heineke probably get the start, right?
Yeah, I mean – I'm not necessarily opposed to the rotation thing, right? But it has to be done perfect. And I don't necessarily think that it's like a rotation. I think it's just like
hot hand kind of vibe.
Yeah, or you start Alex Smith. Because listen, this is the thing is that if you take Alex Smith out of the game, it's not like he can go to the sideline, get a little calf rub, and then come back in the game and throw a touchdown.
Definitely
like,
not.
You know, like let's be 100% honest. Like, I think it's kind of difficult for some, not all, but I think it's a little difficult for some Washington football fans to be brutally honest.
Oh, yeah. Football fans, period.
Alex Smith has looked horrible since the calf injury.
Yeah, he's been bad.
He cannot escape pressure.
They asking me in the chat, Joseph's asking me where I got the Giants banner. The Beard got me the Giants banner, actually. You know, the Beard is a reseller. And somebody could plug the reseller channel. So if you're looking for like vintage Giant stuff, he knows some people and he also comes up on a lot of stuff. I got a plaque from him. Both those Giants banners, the Beard got me. Did you just randomly give me those, or were those for like a birthday or Christmas? I think you might have just randomly
got those, yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you come up on those at?
Thrifting.
Just thrifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the joint was fresh, man. Like I would put the focus on it. It's super fresh, man. Both those banners were like pretty much brand new.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be just a quick little shameless plug.
No, this ain't shameless, bro. This is authentic in the beard, man.
I'm gonna be launching a new YouTube channel soon that's gonna be focused on sports apparel, sports memorabilia, and sports cards. So it'll be a good opportunity for people to, you know, try and grab some of their favorite teams' stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
That's gonna be lit. That's gonna be super lit.
But yeah, back to the unrealistic. You know, they can't be brutally honest, and Alex Smith just not looking good. Like it's in this sort of atmosphere. Like everybody knows who Ndamukong Suh is. Everybody knows. And Ndamukong Suh is not going to be like, oh, Alex Smith, I love you, man. You great comeback story. Ndamukong Suh is coming for that.
Yeah.
He's coming for
He's coming for that leg.
Let's just be real.
I remember he stepped on that one dude's leg from Detroit Lions
he did a whole bunch of crazy
grimy stuff. He makes Myles Garrett look, you know, chump changes kind of.
And he's like a giant teddy bear, they say too, which is crazy to believe. But like on the field, he's savage. You know what I'm saying?
Joel said he thought it was gonna be about beard care, them butters and them oils. What he saying? Coming to America? He said, "This is not a relaxer. This is juices and berries, man. Juices and berries, man.
I should get some Soul Glow for the beard.
Wow, that would be popping. Soul Glow for the beard. Yo, I watched that movie the other night with my girl, man, and that dude, I can't remember her boyfriend's name in that joint, man. He's a sleazeball, man. Like when Eddie Murphy put the money in the collection plate when they was at the Randy Watson performance. And he put the money in the collection plate. Homegirl was like, was that you to put the money in the plate? There was a large lump sum in the plate. And he was just like, sleazeball, bro. Straight sleazeball moves, man.
It's wild. It's wild. So that's to bring up a couple of points as far as like that goes. You know, so Tampa Bay's defense is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's pretty good. Washington, like we talked about, their defense, they're 6th in the league in sacks with 47, 12th in quarterback pressure. But Tampa Bay is also really good in sacks too. And that's going to be a problem if you have Alex Smith back there.
Definitely.
The Tampa Bay is 4th in the league in sacks.
The Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and they're coming from everywhere. So they got Ndamukong Suh in the middle. You got Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett on the edges, and then you got Devin. And then you got Devin White at linebacker.
Yeah, what front do you like better? You like the Bucs front better than you like your front? Y'all front is made up of 4 and 5 first-round draft picks. Y'all definitely built that front the way you're supposed to do it. And literally, I think y'all won the division on the back of that front.
Absolutely. I mean, I would probably take Washington's front just because the depth of it. And it's
and the youth factor, I think, too.
Yeah, youth factor, depth, and you're talking every single position.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like across the entire line. So with Washington, before we even get to this, I'm going to point this out about the spread. Because I was telling Awthentik before we got on air, Tampa Bay is the 4th team, that's a road favorite by at least 6 points. So there's only been 3 other teams since 1970.
Whew.
So since 1970, there's only been 4 teams to be favored by at least 6 points on the road. Tampa Bay being the 4th. Every single one of those other teams lost straight up to the team that they were favored to beat by at least 6 points.
You got that going for you for sure, man.
And every single team that's made the playoffs with a losing record has won at least one playoff game. So you got those are just
Carolina and Seattle.
Those don't have nothing to do with who's playing. Those are just kind of those little stats to plant the seeds.
When I was looking up
those
stats about teams that went in with under 7 wins, there was a couple teams during that replacements era in the late 80s that also got in, but the season was shortened. It was like a 13-game season. No, it was like an 11-game season actually. And there's 2 teams that they put there with an asterisk that got there at 4 and 5. I can't remember the exact teams.
On like a strike year, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So this defense is gonna have to hold Tampa Bay to less than 20 points. That's the bottom line. There's no
good luck.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So Washington is 7-0 when holding to their opponents to less than 20 points this year.
That's the magic number.
But Tampa Bay has scored more than 20 points every single game this year except for 2. But
that's tough.
But both of those games that they didn't score 20 points in, they lost.
Oh, really? Okay. So, 20 is really the magic number.
So this is the magic number. I am not playing. And so the only problem is, so I was telling Awthentik all week long that this was the worst possible matchup for Washington because everything that Washington does really well, Tampa Bay can combat that with the opposing statistic very well.
Oh, yeah.
So we know Washington is their defensive front. They're going to get to the quarterback. That's what we do best. That's what wins us football games. Tampa Bay's only allowed 22 sacks the entire season. That's 4th least sacks in the entire National Football League. But 9 of those sacks came in those 3 losses in which they didn't score 20 points. So if you can get to Tom Brady and get the sacks, that might be able to prevent them from getting 20 points.
I tweeted this out earlier from Marcellus Wiley. He said, the best offensive lineman is a decisive quarterback. Love that.
Yeah, that quick release, know where you're throwing with the ball.
That's a bar.
There's a difference. Awthentik and I have like this inside joke now. There's a difference between that and staring down your receivers, just so everybody knows.
Facts.
Another stat that blew my mind, too, is Washington is top 3 pass defense.
Are y'all number 2 defense in the league right now? Did I see that? I wrote that down. I might have saw that earlier.
It might be true. I don't have that in front of me, but I do know that Washington is a top 3 pass defense.
Yeah.
And we're second in interceptions. So
that's crazy.
And a lot of those interceptions are coming from
Chase Young,
Montez Sweat.
Big facts.
Hands up at the line, you know what I'm saying? Like the sort of pressure. Like those things that they tell you in fundamentals when it comes to football. And The other thing, this might be the craziest. This is the second craziest because when you watch Washington football year after year after year, there's a few things that they do that just drives you insane. That's giving up the big plays.
Facts.
And that's third down conversions on offense and third down conversions on defense. But Washington has actually allowed the least amount of 20-plus yard pass plays of any team in the National Football League this year.
That's probably why y'all pass defense is holding teams. I remember early on in the year when y'all were in first, y'all were holding teams to under 200 passing yards a game, and that's probably why right there.
But
to get into the quarterback, too.
Tom Brady.
That's Tom Brady.
Has 67 pass plays of 20-plus yards this season.
And where does that rank?
I'm not sure where that ranks, but
high.
I'm assuming it's
really
up in
high.
there in the top 5. I mean, Alex Smith probably has 5.
Tom Brady can still sling it. It's crazy.
He totally can.
I saw some throws like 2 weeks ago, man. He's just stepping up in that pocket, letting that thing go. He's fearless, man.
And then you get into the other thing that was probably the craziest for me was Washington is 6th in third down percentage on defense.
That's fire.
Which is huge. But
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, this is everything has a but on both sides in this game, which is crazy. Tampa Bay is 11th, has the 11th best conversion rate on third down.
You know, I think if y'all could take a page out of the Giants book and just bend but don't break, right? You know, that the red zone stat as far as touchdowns allowed, Redskins or Washington football team is number 1 in the league, allowing just 1 a game, I want to say it was. You know, if y'all could just limit them to field goals, y'all might be able to stay in this game. I think a lot of people are overlooking the Washington football team in this game, and I think they might hang. I really do think they might hang. I saw some people talking in the chat here talking about Joey Galladay might. Kenny Galladay.
Joey Galladay.
What was the quarterback?
He was a wide receiver. Joey Galladay was a beast wide receiver.
Joey Galladay for Seattle, and who else?
Tampa Bay.
Kenny Galladay might come to the Giants in the offseason, which is I don't really want Kenny Galladay. I don't know. Like, he puts up decent numbers, but I'm not a big fan. I'd rather go Allen Robinson.
It's going to be tough. So,
and I want to draft a wide receiver. I want to try. If Devontae Smith is on the board, I want him. If Waddle's on the board, I want him. If Chase is on the board, I want him. I'm trying to stack these wide receivers.
Joseph wants you to
like,
give
wow.
them an early record prediction for next year.
All right. I'm going to keep it right around what I had us at the beginning of this year. I'm going to go, and I'm going to be a little more modest. I did say 10-6 at the beginning of the 2020 season. I'm going to go. I should look at the schedule. I'm one that has not looked at the schedule for next year, the teams that we're matched up against. But I'm going to go 9-7. I think we can turn it around and get to 9-7. We lost a lot of close games this year.
Man, it's going to be tough. Shout out to Bluegrass Picker, man. He said, if you head over to his eBay store, he's got some Saquon stuff. He'll hook you guys up with the Awthentik in the Beard discount. That sounds like a Patrick Mahomes State Farm commercial.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you, Anthony. That's a good look, fam.
And now you talked about Antonio
17
Gibson.
games, remember?
Oh,
give me
man.
that 10-7. I don't even like that. I don't even like the 17 games. I'm not feeling that.
That's going to be fun.
My whole life has been 16.
So it's going to be 18 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to go 10-7 then. We can get 10 wins.
Wow. You guys
I know.
It's going to be crazy, man.
I know.
We talked about Antonio Gibson, though, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys watch us, you know how much I love to run the ball. And I think that it's super important to be able to run the ball, especially in the playoffs. Washington just doesn't run the ball, and they don't run the ball very well. But Tampa Bay has the best rush defense in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Don't let that scare you, Scott Turner. Don't let it scare you. You go in and go. Listen, if you go in and run the ball down their throats, it's going to be the last thing they're expecting you to do. Right?
It's true.
So,
true.
I mean, you're
Shout
going
out my man Ben Ball you one time in the building, man.
They haven't
I know
confirmed
he's
17 yet?
No, he's not right on that, though. They confirmed it. It's 17 games, 100. Yeah, they confirmed it for next season.
And then you got to look at it like this. Tampa Bay's pass defense is pretty bad. But Alex Smith can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, you just want Alex Smith to game manage if he's playing. But then if Taylor Heineke comes in the game, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts slinging it. And like I said, man, I think it really depends on Terry McLaurin's health, man, because if Terry McLaurin is really healthy and can really stretch the field, it's going to open up things for your other wide receivers, man. Cam Sims will be able to get off a little bit. Logan Thomas will get those underneath passes. And, then you could see the offense moving a little bit more than anticipated. But 20, man. You said it, bro.
I think that everything is gonna come back to that. That's just what I think. If they can do certain things, that they can hold them to 20 points. But if they give up 20 points, I mean, we don't really score more than 20 points, really. So it's just like
it's been tough to put them points on the board.
It's gonna be super difficult, and I the whole Alex Smith thing scares me. We've given up 50 sacks this year, bro.
Yeah, that's tough.
50 sacks. And now you're going up against, Tampa Bay, who's going to be coming after the quarterback. And I said this last show. They're going to be engage 8.
Yeah.
All day.
Engage
if Alex
8.
Smith is back there.
You saw the Ravens do that against the Giants, man. It was so frustrating knowing that you couldn't block it up and then the wide receivers couldn't get separation. I hope that doesn't happen to Washington. I mean, and I think they can't do that if Terry McLaurin is in the game and he's healthy. I don't think they could do that. And not technically in engage 8, but, stacking the box, 8 people in the box trying to blitz and whatnot. I don't think that'll work out.
That's pretty much what it's going to come down to as far as I'm going with Washington. And look, let's be realistic. I'm going to be honest. This is a disclaimer. I'll get the disclaimer after
you make your pick?
No, I'm going to do it before I make my pick, but I'll make my pick after you make your pick. And if there's anything else you would like to throw some cherries on top of this Washington football playoff
that's about
Sunday.
It, man.
But it's on Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
That would have been a good pun, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, I think I got it all out the way, man. I just think, in my gut, I got a feeling that this game's going to be closer than the score that I'm actually going to pick here. But I'm just going to pick what I think because I think Tampa Bay's offense is coming in hot. Mike Evans is going to be a key piece, man.
He might be a decoy.
That's the thing. He might be a decoy. And if he is a decoy, that's going to limit their offense for the Bucs a lot. Oh, shout out to King OC, man. McGinnis in the building. I saw somebody else in the building, too. Tim Decker in the building. What's up, fam? How you living? But, yeah, man, I mean, I got to go with what I've been seeing from the Bucs and Tom Brady. They've been balling out. And, Tom Brady had that real, just mischievous face when he was asked about the Chase Young thing, like, yeah, he's a great young player, Pretty much.
It's Tom Brady,
I'm going to talk my smack after we get this win is pretty much what he was saying. I'm going to go Tampa Bay wins this one. I'll go with what I wrote down right here in the beginning, 37-19.
Man, how many sacks do you think Chase Young has?
I mean, how many does he have on the season? Do you got those numbers handy?
I think it's 6.5.
Right. He not killing with the sacks crazy. You know?
He's at 44 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recovers, a touchdown. I mean,
talk to me when he get like Leonard Williams, Talk to me when he get up there in them double digits and stuff like that.
Montez Sweat got like 9.5 sacks.
I'd say he's going to get 1. The thing about Chase Young is you feel the pressure coming off the edge. Quarterbacks can feel it. They know it's coming. When he catches them slipping, though, he seems to get the fumble every time. So I'm going to go he's going to get 1 sack. It's Tom Brady. He's only been sacked 22 times on the whole season.
I should have looked up like what the prop bets are on that. And I love my prop bets.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to playoffs, I'm all about the prop bets, especially the Super Bowl. I can't wait for squares.
Yeah, you got crazy.
All that stuff.
We did a couple last year that were ridiculous, I remember.
Yeah. And remember, that's how I got all my Bitcoin was Patrick Mahomes' first touchdown in the Super Bowl, a rushing touchdown. That was my pick,
I saw you talking about that on Twitter today.
Yeah, so it's
look. Who were you? You were
Kyle Pizzle.
It was it was Kyle Pizzle. Yeah, that's right.
We were talking about cryptocurrency and gambling.
Yeah, I just I stay away from the cryptocurrency because of the name. Crypto. It just sounds sketchy.
I mean, listen, I was the biggest hater on Bitcoin out there.
I remember. I definitely remember.
But we'll see. All right, so my disclaimer is I would normally, if this was a normal regular season game and there was nothing on the line technically, like say it was a middle of the season game or something like that.
Ooh, shout out Bark Nasty one time.
Oh, we both tried to click
I had you doing your take. I had you. Come on, dog. 2 games. Andrew Thomas took care of that man. And not enough people are talking about that. Straight up.
It's a good point.
Not enough people talking about that.
If this would have been a regular season game in the middle of the season,
You better not pick the Bucs.
I would have picked the Bucs. But this is not. And the Bucs, I picked Tampa Bay to go to the Super Bowl. So if we lose this game and I pick Washington to win this game and
Yes, I would.
Tampa Bay makes the Super Bowl, I'm not mad. You know, we made the playoffs. We're building. We're changing the culture.
What if it's a one-score game and y'all lose though, and then you watch the Bucs?
I mean, I'll be upset for a little while, and then I'll put on my hat and I'll come to work at Awthentik and the Beard on Sunday morning with a smile on my face for the people
and a twist in the mustache.
What are these?
You already know.
So look, I am gonna take the Washington football team to win this game.
Nice.
And they are going to win the game by a final score of 20-17.
I like it. I want to pick Washington. I will be rooting for y'all, but the way Awthentik and the Beard is set up, the Beard be trying to brag about the picks a little bit. So I gotta try to go with the win.
That's the other thing too, is that Scotty Booms, hasn't been here this week.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to get an update on the final rankings.
Oh, you was up 4 games going into week 17. And I picked the Giants. You picked the Giants too. I picked Carolina.
I picked Washington.
You picked Washington. And oh no, I think
that was week 16.
We're 2 weeks back now.
Yeah,
we're 2 weeks back now. Yeah, so we got to catch up on that.
And then week 17,
I picked Philly. And yeah, that was the 2 NFC games.
I picked the Giants and Washington.
Yeah, and we didn't have a Thursday night game,
Nope.
so we were 1-1. Oh no, you got me 1 game on week 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, week 16, I think, is the one where I got you 3-1, I think, or 2-1. Can't remember who. Oh, the Cowboys played the Eagles. That's right.
It's going to be interesting to see what those final stats
I think you got it. I think unless we get these playoffs involved, maybe I could catch up a little bit. But I think you're gonna get me by 2-3 games. Maybe.
You know what else is crazy? Shout out to, I don't know if everybody in here from Kingpin is in here, but Kingpin Breaks is like one of my groups that I break cards with. And the guy, John, who runs it, he's a Giants fan. He has like a little mini Lawrence Taylor autographed Giants helmet like in the screen when he's doing the breaks and everything.
What do you do the breaks on, Facebook?
He does his breaks on YouTube.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah, and so he runs, during the season, he runs like 4 leagues because there's so many people that want to be in it that they just set up 4 different leagues. But he hooked me up and put me in the fantasy football postseason.
Yeah.
I've never done this before. So this is my first time doing this, and it's super interesting. So basically you draft a team, and it's simple. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex that's only wide receiver and running back, and then a defense. No bench players.
Yeah.
No adding or subtracting players. So whoever you draft is your team from the beginning of the playoffs until the Super Bowl.
I like that.
And then whoever accumulates the most points, you don't know head-to-head matchups. It's whoever accumulates the most points from the beginning of the playoffs to the end of the playoffs.
I like that.
And I had the second, and it's not PPR, so I'm not used to that either. So I had the second pick. I picked Aaron Rodgers because Patrick Mahomes was the first pick.
Yeah.
So it's going to be.
Aaron Rodgers is playing, a little bit more hot ball right now too.
And I figure, you kind of want to have people that will play into the extension of the playoffs.
Right. You don't want to get like Antonio Gibson or
or David Montgomery.
Yeah.
But what happens if you pick players from a team that nobody thinks is going to go to the Super Bowl and they end up going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
then you're
nice.
Sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? So
high risk, high reward, man.
It's going to be very interesting. So I will keep everybody here, Awthentik and the Beard family, posted as far as how my fantasy team is going through this fantasy postseason.
Yeah, please do. I see Vance talking about the famous Awthentik hoodie because this the hoodie I'm wearing, and we got to get you a mouse. That thing's too slow.
No, because I
it's slow though. It's like I see it for like 2 seconds and it's like up. But this the hoodie that I'm wearing in my profile picture on YouTube.
Yeah.
So when they see me in the chat on Tanner's. Did somebody say Tanner going live tonight, man? Put that link in the chat if Tanner's going live tonight. I'm going to definitely pull up, man. Y'all know how I do. I'm always in Entertainer's chat, man. So you got 20-17 for Washington.
Yes.
I got 37-19 for Washington. 1 sack for Chase Young. I'm going to go 65 yards for Antonio Gibson. You want to take the over or the under?
I'm going to take the over.
You're going to take the over. All right, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. Terry McLaurin, 90 yards or over? Over, under?
Under.
I'm going to take the over.
Oh,
all right.
This is good.
I like that. Alex Smith, we don't know. Taylor Heineke, we don't know. You know
I'm taking the over on the sacks on Chase Young.
Yeah, we're not going to get there.
Chase Young is going to have 2 sacks.
The over-under in the game was 56, right?
No.
What was it?
It'll come up here in a second.
Oh, no, I got 56 in my score. That's what it is. The over-under in this one's probably going to be in the 40s.
I think it was like 45 and a half. Yeah, 44 and a half.
44 and a half. Okay. Let me just put that down. I want to check these notes.
So, Jason Cardell, to answer your question, how does it work with the bye for Aaron Rodgers? He just won't accumulate any points for me in the first week.
Oh, so he's got 1 less game, but he could be a more high-profile player. Guarantees him to be in the second week, which is good. I got a feeling Aaron Rodgers is going to choke again, man. I don't know.
Save it for Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got a feeling, man. I'll save it for Sunday, though, man. Any last words before we get up out of here, man, and migrate? I think we're going to – Tanner's talking Mets tonight? Okay, so we can pull up. It's
his first night doing the Mets podcast, I believe.
Yeah, we could pull up. You know I'm not a Mets fan, but I always pull up on Entertainer and say what's up.
He picked a great day for his first Mets podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because not even knowing that they were – like – he was scheduled to make this Mets podcast, I believe, debut tonight before the blockbuster trade.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
So that's
he did.
just great. I mean, that's awesome. But go Orioles.
you know it. Go Orioles. I see Nerd Cage Live is going to be live right now, too. He's got a couple people in there. I might pull up on him as well. But Entertainer, yeah, there's already a bunch of people in there, too. I'm going to definitely pull up on Tainer, man. But
Vance, yeah. I've been growing my beard now for...
Since the womb.
6 years?
That's it? Nah.
Yeah.
Did you have a beard when you was in Aspen Hill?
That was when I started it. My dad passed away. That was when I started it because I was sleeping at the hospital for a month and I didn't shave.
I remember, there's some pictures I got too. Like when you first had the first beard, that joint was weak. That joint was so thin. If you was like a black dude, it would have been a great beard. It'd have been like Freeway vibes or something. But like, white dudes gotta have the big furry beard. You know what I'm saying? Now you got the super beard gang. You and Joel, y'all got the serious beard gang.
Hey Nate, we're listen. Jeffrey Mayer. You're too young you're too young to know who Jeffrey Mayer is. But Jeffrey Mayer was probably about your age. And the Orioles had one of the best teams, in baseball. And this little squirt, Jeffrey Mayer, reached over the outfield fence and stole the ball on a home run. Tony Tarasco was playing right field when it happened. And ever since then, it's been a curse. But we're coming for those Yankees.
That might be a little wild there.
It might be a little wild, but yes, I hate the Yankees. Listen,
Kevin says he's going full
I'll
authentic.
show you guys some love for the Giants, but I absolutely hate the Yankees. I hate the Yankees like I hate the Cowboys. Yeah.
We know you're hate, man.
All right,
man. Let's get him out of here, man. Authentic in the Beard presents baseball on Tuesday. No, I'm joking. But man, we really appreciate y'all, man, pulling up on us today, man. We missing the homie Scotty Booms. I don't think I got picks from Scotty. Let me make sure I didn't get the picks from Nope, didn't get no picks from Scotty. We'll try to get him on the next show. But in these kind of times, man, what's happening right here down in the Capitol, man, and across the country, man. I even saw in New York, man, people was doing wild stuff out there. It's some wild times, man, and we just appreciate y'all pulling up on us, man. I definitely look at all y'all day ones here in this chat like family, man. I can't wait till we meet up for that tailgate, man. And until then, man, it's peace from Authentic in the Beer. You got any last words, fam?
No, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who comes through and supports what we do. It means a lot. We're going to keep trying to give you guys some good, valuable content and keep this growth growing. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and YouTube. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we will be live here Saturday night doing the Washington football team and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. followed by the second half of our Super Wild Card Weekend preview show on the Parlay Sunday morning at 11 o'clock
Hey,
a.m.
and speaking of the growth, man, like the beard gang, we hit 1,500 subs, man, just yesterday, man. So that's all y'all, man. That's all y'all. So, man, we'll see y'all on Saturday night, man, for this Washington football team game, man. We appreciate y'all, man. It's been authentic. My man, the beard, left side.
Strong side.
You know what it is, man.
Best division in football. Scotty Booms.
Yes, sir.